Most people believe growing your own food requires a yard, a raised bed, or at least a patch of open soil somewhere on their property. That assumption is stopping a lot of people from ever getting started, and it's completely wrong. Some of the most productive food gardens in the world are growing on balconies, patios, rooftops, and driveways, in containers, fabric bags, and buckets with no ground access at all. The system for doing this well is not complicated, but it does require you to think differently about space. Instead of spreading out horizontally the way a traditional garden does, a zero-space garden works vertically and in layers. It stacks productivity on top of itself until a small balcony or patio is producing more food than most people expect is possible. Once you understand the logic behind it, the setup is straightforward and the results come faster than you might think. The first thing to get right is your containers, because the container is the foundation of everything else. The most common mistake people make is going too small. Small containers dry out quickly, restrict root development, and produce weak plants that struggle to fruit. For tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers, you need a minimum of 5 gallons, and 10 gallons is significantly better. For leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and kale, a 3-gallon container is workable, but wider and shallower is better than narrow and deep. Fabric grow bags are worth serious consideration over hard plastic pots. They air prune the roots as they reach the edge of the bag, which forces the plant to develop a dense, fibrous root system instead of circling roots that choke themselves. This leads to healthier plants, better water uptake, and stronger yields. A 10-gallon fabric bag costs a few dollars, folds flat for storage in winter, and outperforms plastic containers of the same size in most conditions. 5-gallon buckets from a hardware store are the most affordable option, and they work well for tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. Drill 6 to 8 drainage holes in the bottom before you use them. Without drainage, your roots will sit in standing water and rot within a week, and no amount of good soil or fertilizer will save a plant with rotted roots. Drainage is non-negotiable in any container system. The number of containers you can fit depends entirely on your space, but a standard apartment balcony of around 50 square feet can comfortably hold 8 to 12 large containers when arranged efficiently. Add a vertical element on one wall, and that number climbs considerably. The goal in this first stage is to fill your available floor space with the largest containers that fit, then build upward from there. Once the containers you're going to grow your veggies in are sorted, the single most important decision you will make is your growing medium. Garden soil from the ground is not suitable for containers. It compacts under the weight of repeated watering, cuts off oxygen to the roots, and drains so poorly that plants drown in it. You need a mix that stays loose, drains well, and holds just enough moisture to keep roots hydrated between waterings. A reliable container mix is 1 part quality potting soil, 1 part compost, and 1 part perlite. The potting soil provides structure, the compost provides nutrients and biological activity, and the perlite keeps the mix aerated and prevents compaction over time. This combination works for nearly every vegetable and herb you're likely to grow in a container system. You can buy all 3 components separately and mix them yourself, which is cheaper than buying pre-mixed container soil, especially when you're filling 10 or 12 large bags at once. Fertilizing in containers is not optional the way it sometimes is in ground gardening. Every time you water, nutrients leach out through the drainage holes. Within 4 to 6 weeks of planting, most container-grown vegetables will have consumed the available nutrition in even a well-amended mix, and will begin to stall without supplementation. A balanced, slow-release granular fertilizer worked into the top inch of soil at planting time gives you a base layer of nutrition that feeds the plant steadily for 2 to 3 months. Supplement that every 2 weeks with a liquid fertilizer during the active growing season, and your plants will produce consistently through the whole summer. Watering in containers requires more attention than watering in the ground. A large fabric bag in full sun on a hot July afternoon can dry out completely within 24 hours. The rule of thumb is to check your containers daily during summer and water when the top inch of soil is dry. Push your finger into the soil up to the first knuckle. If it comes out dry, water thoroughly until it runs freely from the drainage holes. If it comes out with soil clinging to it, wait another day. Overwatering kills more container plants than underwatering, but in peak summer heat, the window between dry and waterlogged can be surprisingly narrow. Grouping your containers close together helps reduce moisture loss. Plants transpire water through their leaves, and when containers are clustered, the humidity between them stays slightly higher, which slows evaporation from the soil surface. It also makes your space look more intentional and productive, which matters if you are gardening on a shared balcony or a visible patio. A drip irrigation system on a simple timer is worth setting up if you travel or work long hours, because missing 2 consecutive waterings in August can set a tomato plant back by weeks. If you want to skip the guesswork on containers, soil, and fertilizer, I have linked everything I recommend in my Amazon store in the description below. It is the exact setup I use, and it'll save you time figuring out what works. The vertical dimension is where a zero-space garden separates itself from a basic container setup. Most balconies and patios have a wall, a railing, or a fence that is doing nothing productive. That surface is some of the most valuable growing space you have access to, and using it correctly can double the output of a small area without adding a single square foot of floor space. A simple wooden trellis or wire panel mounted against a wall gives climbing plants like pole beans, cucumbers, and indeterminate tomatoes a structure to grow up rather than out. A single cucumber plant trained vertically on a trellis takes up less than 1 square foot of floor space and will produce fruit steadily for 3 months. The same plant sprawling horizontally in a container would take over your entire balcony and still produce less because airflow and light distribution are worse when foliage piles on itself. Pocket planters and vertical wall organizers mounted directly to a wall or railing are well suited to herbs and shallow-rooted greens. Basil, parsley, cilantro, mint, and chives grow well in small pockets and benefit from the warmth that radiates off a south-facing wall on sunny days. Strawberries are another strong candidate for vertical pockets because their shallow roots fit the format and the trailing habit looks intentional rather than improvised. Plant selection matters more in a zero-space system than it does in a conventional garden because every container has to earn its place. Compact and dwarf varieties bred specifically for container growing outperform standard varieties in limited space. Patio tomatoes, bush cucumber varieties, and container pepper varieties are bred to produce well in small volumes of soil, without the aggressive sprawl of full-size plants. Look for words like compact, dwarf, bush, or patio on seed packets and plant tags when you are selecting varieties for a balcony system. High-value crops are worth prioritizing over crops that take up a lot of space relative to what they produce. Cherry tomatoes, peppers, herbs, salad greens, and green onions produce a large amount of usable food from a small area over a long season. Crops like corn, large pumpkins, and sprawling winter squash are not practical in a container system regardless of container size. Focus on crops you actually eat regularly and that would cost you real money at a grocery store, because that is where the practical value of the system shows up most clearly. Succession planting is worth building into a zero-space system from the start. When a fast-maturing crop like lettuce or radishes finishes in early summer, that container does not have to sit empty until next year. Pull the spent plant, refresh the top layer of soil with a handful of compost, and immediately plant a warm season crop that will carry you through late summer. That same container can then go back into cool season greens in early fall, giving you 3 separate harvests from one bag across a single growing season. The zero-space garden works because it treats every surface as a growing opportunity and every container as a productive unit in a larger system. A balcony, a patio, a front stoop, a sunny driveway corner, any of these can support a genuine food-producing setup when the containers are sized correctly, the soil is right, the plants are fed consistently, and the vertical space is used. You do not need a yard to grow food. You need a system and enough space to stand in. If you want a specific 5-bag plan with exact crops and yields already mapped out for you, watch this next. I'll see you over there.